On a beautiful mid-July day, we headed up California's Highway 4 to explore the old Wagon and Mule train road built about 150 years ago. The more modern roadway takes the south side of a steep canyon just after Highway 4 heads east from Ebbets Pass summit. But years ago, the Wagon road kept to the north side of the canyon. We want to follow that road today. When I was a kid and last went through this trail, remains of mines could be seen. My dad has since passed away, but back in those days, he's shown here leaning against some timbers. It was about 1970. Today, all traces of this might have been scrubbed clean. You wouldn't even know it was ever there. About 5 years ago, with my boys and I, we tried to go all the way through this trail. We started at the east end of the trail that time, and we quit right here where these overgrown willows and washed out creek crossing were. At the time, we cut back the willows, but I chickened out at trying to make it through the creek bed. Well, I've been thinking about it now for several years and decided that if we started at the west end of the trail, we just might be able to make it. We come right away to the hardest part to cross. It's Eagle Creek, and the creek bed is definitely washed out. Looking at these pictures side by side, it's easy to see that back in 1970, there was a culvert and there was a lot more rock on the creek bottom. It's all been since washed away and eroded. The rocks that were big and imposing back in 1970 are still there. They haven't gone away, and that Chevy had to work pretty hard to get over them. But in our Jeep, we've now gone over the big ones on our way to the creek bottom, and we're committed. I didn't think we'd quite very easily be able to back out now, so only one way to go, and that's forward. Getting back up out of the creek bed was a steep proposition, both steep going up the hill and steep going sideways. And I had this nervous feeling that we could easily roll over. So we got our winch cable, secured it to a stout tree to keep us from slipping sideways and rolling over. Would we make it? I kind of thought we had a fair chance, but I also kind of thought this was even stupider than I had anticipated.
My land. I can't believe we made it through this. I don't know if the pictures are going to look like anything, but good grief. This is beautiful. That's the old wagon trail and how the pack mules used to go over Ebbets Pass. Right in this road. Sorry to take so much video of this. I just cannot believe that we made it and we didn't tip over.
We had no sooner gotten up out of the creek bed and gotten on firm trail again when it looked like we were blocked in by these two big dead pine trees across the road, and we didn't bring a chainsaw with us. But we soon saw that others in previous years had made a path around the trees. One path went up over one tree, and the second path went below the second tree. Back in the day, in our excursion in the Chevy, we had to blaze a trail around a huge fallen tree too, about a 36-inch diameter. At least these trees aren't that big. Across the canyon, you can visualize the present location of the paved Highway 4. It's crowned by Silver Peak, towering above it. As our road has flattened out and probably looks much now like the wagon road it once was, I'm always impressed with the stone masonry work on the retaining walls of these roads. I'm told that Italian masons did the work. There are some drill marks that are apparent where blasting was done, but otherwise there was no special technology or even mortar used. Just craftsmanship. And this craftsmanship has held solid for about 150 years. And now we're ready to rejoin the Ebbets Pass Scenic Byway. This byway is a 61-mile stretch of highways 4 and 89 between the towns of Arnold in Calaveras County and Markleeville, population 200, which is the county seat of Alpine County. And we're heading east. We'll soon go through Markleeville, then on over to Woodfords and up Highway 88, about 6 miles past the intersection with Highway 89, which would take you to South Lake Tahoe. We're going to take a beautiful little forest road off to the right, which takes us up to Crater Lake, and we'll see if we can make it to the Alpine Mine. Snowbanks block our way, but the view is well worth the effort of winching out with a spectacular view across Hope Valley and the West Fork of the Carson River in the valley down below. We're looking forward to going to Alpine Mine. We have a guidebook of off-road adventures that we like to follow, and it says that tungsten was the primary target of the Alpine Mine, which was active in the 1940s. Pictures in the guidebook show the wooden head frames still in existence a few years ago, and they show it to be an interesting place to visit. Unfortunately today, with so much snow because of the heavy winter we've had, the road has become impassable because of the deep banks. There's no trees to winch us to pull us along, so we have to skip that part of our journey and head toward Crater Lake.
It's beautiful up there. It's covered with snow. We can gently go around the snow.
So it's back to Highway 4, and a stop at Kinney Reservoir to take a quick jaunt up a short dirt road across the highway to a lovely granite outcropping, which gives us a nice view of Kinney. By the way, if you care about things like this, there are actually 3 Kinneys. There's Upper Kinney Lake, Lower Kinney Lake, and the one right next to Highway 4 near Ebbets Pass is actually called Kinney Reservoir. Well, we've gone over the summit of Highway 4 and gone past Lake Alpine. Near the intersection with State Route 207 is a road marked on my map as a Jeep trail, and it takes us pretty much near to the peak of Mount Reba. Absolutely beautiful, 360-degree views. Look immediately down on Horse Canyon, Underwood Canyon, Round Valley. To the south, the Carson Iceberg Wilderness area and the Dardanelles toward Sonora Pass area. To the north, we're on the brink of the magnificent McComney Canyon and the McComney Wilderness. Things haven't changed very much since 1977 when I had my Land Cruiser up here. That's the same volcanic outcropping on the left there that we'll see out our Jeep windows today. It was quite a fight to get to the top of the hill today, through about a block's worth of packed snowbanks, 2 to 3 feet deep. Some of them we could drive over, others we had to winch through. Hey, but when boys have a Jeep and a winch, it's all fun, right? And of course, if you have to wade through heavy snow one way to get to the top, well, to get back down the hill, we'll have to wade through it again.